I know this touches your heart deeply.
It does.
Can you tell us about that?
It was just a few short weeks ago that Brent came to me and had told me about the bill. I was just as shocked as he was to find out, because the numerous hours that Dave would spend working at the office and overtime and doing court packages, going in on his days off to make sure they were done properly before his court date. And I just assumed that that was part of what was supposed to be, and I was appalled.
You spoke of,
Sorry, go ahead.
You spoke of wanting to make a positive contribution following this, not giving in to the anger. Can you speak to that importance for me?
That was a decision that I had to make very early on. Very early, like the day things happened. Especially because of my children. And also because it's not Dave. That's not who he is, that's not who he was. He's a very forgiving man, and it was always trying to find the positive side in things, always trying to figure out how to work through things. And he was like that with work as well. Everybody was treated as an equal, and we had to work through the problems and try to find a positive way and a positive outcome. So as terrible as this is, there's got to be some changes, and there, things that will be better in the future. And Dave would have been proud of that, and very pleased.
This doesn't strike me as a tough-on-crime bill or anything like that. It doesn't strike me as political. It strikes me as cleaning up a procedure, closing a loophole, like you said.
Yeah.
With that in mind, are you hopeful that it's something that can be addressed, really quickly?
I am. I think it's very important, because learning this right now, we have gosh knows how many people walking the streets day after day that could be in the same position that my husband was in. Unfortunately, he was an officer, so he was an easy target, but there's so many other people that could have been injured that night, could have been killed, and even on a daily basis. There's so many people, because there's so many like Sean Wren that are walking the streets now.
How active do you want to be to push this through?
Very active. This is very, in any way possible. I think this is something that Dave would truly want. He would come home sometimes frustrated because there was those little loopholes in the system, that they would work so hard, but then things were torn apart on the other end.
Yes, Scott, I think we've discussed this, and
yeah.
I think if the bill requires a public face, I think Shelley is prepared to be that public face. But I agree with Ryan. I don't think that's going to be necessary. It's just a matter of getting the loophole closed, which I think is recognized by all of the relevant stakeholders.
If I may, I think what a lot of people want to know today is, how are you doing?
One day at a time. I have a lot of family that's been around me from day one, and I don't think that I could have done any of this without them. I know I couldn't have. And my children. I can't say it's getting any easier. I guess we just have to accept the fact that this is the way life is going to be, and try to find our new normal right now.
When you talk about a legacy, obviously he's personally and professionally, he's left, I guess, more than one legacy.
Yeah.
What about this being his legacy, Dave Wynn's law?
I think he would absolutely love this. Being an officer was something that he was very proud of. He took it very seriously, and he worked as hard as he could. And there was nothing that he wouldn't do. He'd spend numerous hours at work on his days off, staying for overtime, just to make sure that everything was done right. So I think Dave would think this was the best honor that he could receive.